Hi, Golisias. How are we? Hope you're doing well. So I'm talking to my sister or brother out there about the dreams that you have, that particular dream, that particular disturbing dream that you keep having. You wake up and under your breath, you just pray a 2-minute prayer and say, oh, I cancelled it. Hey, there are certain dreams that can be cancelled in that manner. But I'm also here to let you know that there's a category of dreams that you cannot just cancel for 2 minutes and you consider it done. And that could be for so many different reasons. There are some dreams that are a matter of life and death. That when you see them, there's certain things you see in your dreams and you know it's time to call for a fast. It's time to give up some good amount of time praying over the predictions of the enemy to make sure that those things do not come to pass. There are certain dreams, and this is by experience, and I'm sure you've experienced this too as well. There are certain dreams that, as terrifying or as bad or dooming as they may be, you dream them and they still come to pass regardless of how much you cancelled it. There are certain things that must happen to us, you know? And if it does happen, that means it was meant to be like that. Not every dream that we cancel sometimes, gets cancelled. There's some, like I said, it's just a warning. God is just giving you the, heads up that by the way, this is going to happen, and it will happen. Regardless of how much you prayed, you realize that, okay, this was meant to happen. But if it does happen, despite you doing every single thing that you are supposed to do and it still happens, it means it was in God's will for it to happen. It may not be a very good experience, but at the end of it, you still see the glory of God. You still see the glory of God. You still see why you had to go through that difficult situation, because it's not everything that happens to us that must be good. There are certain lessons sometimes that the only way to learn is through experience. You see, at the end of it, you will have something to say. You will have something that you'll be able to share with someone. And some of those things will happen because it's part of a very bad cycle of things that have already happened. And the only way to get out of it, sometimes things might get worse before they get better. Sometimes you're already in the middle of it, and the only way is to get through it, to go through the very pain that you're already suffering. And you're like, okay, God could have stopped it here. He could have prevented it all from happening. Yes, he could have, but he wanted it to happen. So anytime you see something that you did everything to prevent it and it still happened, you can know that God did want it to happen. He watched it happen because he knows you can take it. He knows you survive it. He knows that you have a massive test that you're going to pass, and the reward is waiting at the end of it. Some of it, you wake up, you cancel that thing, and in reality, sometimes you see God fighting for you. You will see that is in the way of the destroyer. That indeed, regardless of how much he wants to destroy you, he cannot manage, because he's there to restrain him. And you see with your own eyes that, look, this is not going to happen. He's prevented it from happening. But there are certain dreams as well that end up happening because we didn't do what we were supposed to do. Things that shouldn't have happened to us end up happening to us because of, negligence, carelessness. We didn't take time to cancel, or we canceled something for 2 minutes that should have taken a lot longer to cancel. I'll give you an example. I did go through a period of time in my life where every time I'm going to suffer financial hardship, I'll dream of my dead mother maybe asking me for money or taking me to a bank that spiritually is run down, a place that is run down as her bank in the dream. How can you be giving your money to a dead person? You're giving it to the spirit of despair, basically. You're giving to nothingness. She'll be crying her tears out, oh, I need money, and I'll take from my purse and give her. And that will be the beginning of financial loss. I was losing so many things. I bought my very first Samsung contract phone, brand new. The Note, something, the very first Note that ever came out. Within 2 days of rejoicing having that phone, it dropped out of my bag on my way to work, and someone picked it and ran off. And I remained paying a debt because it was on contract for 2 good years of a phone that I lost within 2 days. And the loss didn't stop there. As a matter of fact, the longer those dreams continued, within 1 month, I'd lost about 4 phones. Every time, it's like something I told me that I would never have a phone. They would drop out of the bag. I'll go somewhere and forget it. I wasn't only losing phones, I would lose money. I'll go to the cash point, withdraw money, forget about it, and just walk off. Someone will come, and it was a lot until I decided to take charge. Every time I see these dreams, I'm going to stand up and fight. I took a few days to pray, to fast. I arrested those demons in the dream. And when I tell you, not only did I go after the enemy to stop, to lock up my doors, to make sure he's not stealing from me, I also requested a restoration. I requested for a refund for everything that I lost. And I started to see myself regaining all the stuff that I'd lost, some of it, money in the bank. You know, some of it started coming back to me, but I had to put that situation to a stop. If I hadn't, like I said, those things had been going on for a while. And a lot of it sadly started from the dream, because at least the Lord opened my eyes, my spiritual antenna, to see that, look, the enemy is at it again, is about to steal from you. You're supposed to tighten your locks. The thief is coming for you. So if you have a situation like that is persisting, do not sit on it. Dreams, things that God has warned about people about in the dream world, have come back and sadly destroyed their lives because of carelessness. I heard of a story that was very, very sad, of a sister that she had an aunt that unfortunately caught HIV back in the day. You know, that very first HIV that used to be brutal, like it will even punch holes in people's bodies. There was hardly any effective medication back in the day. She went to care for her auntie, and sadly when the aunt died, she was like, okay, I need to run away from the village and come back to the city. She hated that disease with, you know, passion. Like, she never slept with anybody, sparing herself from marriage, very scared, because she's like, I don't want to end up like my auntie. She found someone, and in the process of dating this person, she had a dream that her dead auntie that died of HIV visited her in the dream, cut her wrist, and also cut her and rubbed their hands together, the blood in the dream. And then at the end of the dream, said to her, start taking HIV medication. And she woke up. She was like, okay, what kind of a dream is this? A dream like that. This girl spent just a few minutes. Oh, I've cancelled it in Jesus' mighty name, amen. My sister, my brother, that is not something you just cancel for 2 minutes. The enemy is after your life. He's made it very clear. He's come for war. How can someone that died of the same disease come to try and infect you in the dream? If you like, sit on it and say, oh, no, that will... No. What ended up happening to this girl, she said, she was giving a testimony. She came to church. She went and they did the blood test with the guy. Everything came out fine at the beginning of the relationship. And as they were, you know, doing their marriage preparations and stuff, one day she came to church in an overnight service, started feeling extremely tired, kept sleeping. And she said, I live close to the church. Let me go home. I'll come back tomorrow morning. On her way home, she was raped by a gang of men. And unfortunately, she didn't tell anyone. She kept it quiet. Out of the blue, the guy's parents started demanding for them to go back for HIV testing. It came out of nowhere. They were like, no, we know they tested last time, but sometimes, blah, 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 blah. We need to go back to the bloods. By the time she went back this time around, she was testing positive, which was very, very sad. Of course, the relationship ended there. The guy left, went to marry someone else. The girl's life was destroyed, you know, just like that. But I'm saying is that when we see these things in the dream, we can cancel them. We can come out and cancel them. We can stand and cancel and come against the plan of the enemy, because God has already revealed what he wants to do. If he has his way, this is exactly what he wants to do to you. So guys, like I said before, people have dreamt their own deaths in the dream. They didn't understand. Some have even gone to other people and said, look, do you know what? This is what I've dreamt. And someone tried to advise them that, look, if this is what you're dreaming, if you haven't given your life to Christ, maybe you need to give your life to Christ, because then they've decided that, look, this is a dream that clearly means death. And the person didn't listen, and you know, we know how that is ending. So I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to encourage myself that there are certain categories of dreams that when you see it, get up and fight, get up and do what you're supposed to do. If it still comes to pass, you did everything that you needed to do, and just wait on God. Anyway, thank you very much. I'll speak to you next time. Thank you. Bye.